The following game has no ESRB rating, nor is there a listing of any sort of restrictive content that may appear in the game. However, I do know for a fact that it does include violence, bloodshed, explosions, fire, and the death of people and various animals. So, if I were to guess as to what its rating would be, I would say either teen or mature. So, that being said, viewer discretion is advised, and I recommend that anyone under the age of 13 not watch the following video. You have been warned.
Greetings and salutations. I am Outlier, and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is, of course, my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we are returning back to Rimworld. Now again, this isn't a game called Rimworld. That's an entirely different game and by an entirely different title. Made by an entirely different company. Yes, I'm sure. Yes, we had this issue before. Yes, I'm sure that this is a different game. Give me a minute and I will tell you. Usually the premise of Rimworld is that you control a bunch of colonists that you place on a, well, you basically have them enter a section of the map. You then harvest resources and build structures to basically make a colony, which you then survive for as long as possible until the game-based AI storyteller manages to kill off all of your people. And / or burn everything down. Well, my playthrough is slightly different in a few ways. So if you haven't seen any of the other episodes that I've made of this game, at least thematically, I play it slightly different. And the main theme that is different from how most people I've seen play this game is that I'm role-playing my colonists as a heavily armed and arguably armored space marine infantry unit. And they are tasked with landing upon the planet, fighting off as many pirates as they can, and hitting as many pirate bases as they can before they get to the standard story-generated ship on, I believe, the other side of the world, arguably. Because I think it's more of like a third of the way around. I don't think it's like the exact opposite of the planet. But I never bothered to measure it, so I don't actually know for certain. But the final objective of how I'm playing this game is that they have to get to the ship, make certain it can fit everybody currently that's part of the team, basically everybody who's still alive and any additional personnel that they manage to acquire, activate the ship, climb aboard, and take off. That's assuming everybody survives long enough. The game has a tendency to try to kill off my people. But in the meantime, they're going to try to burn through every pirate base and anybody who tries to threaten my people as much as possible. So it's been an interesting playthrough so far. It's definitely been a different playthrough from what I've done in the past. And I gotta admit, there are times when I've been falling back to old routines when I realize that I could be doing something differently. But that's an issue for once we start the game. So this game is, of course, made by. Thank you again. And that being said, let us begin. Okay, so this is arguably the colony. I say arguably because, as I mentioned in the introduction, I'm doing things slightly differently from how I'm used to playing this game. And, well, right off the bat, the first thing that I'm doing is go to the world map, moving the base from location to location to location, and hitting every pirate faction, which is the symbol right here. I can, as we get to, I remember how to move the map. I think I know where it is by now, but not really. Alright, it's somewhere around here. Hang on. So we get to this location. That was actually surprisingly close, and it's a different color. But if we go from the location here all the way back to, give it a minute for the plan to scroll, FOB Antioch, which is this base right here, it'll take about 62 days. And as usual, the game usually changes the route every time. So I would have to go past this village, probably hit this pirate stronghold. Go from there. This pirate stronghold. Yeah, so it's used to be in the past would like go up this way. Now it's looks like it's skirting the southern pole before heading back north. And it's right here again, so probably going through, yeah, here's the line. It's going through this area. As I said, every game and every playthrough, every time I've measured this, it's like always a different route, so who knows. But anyway, as I was saying, so this technically isn't the colony. This is the base that I'm building because the current forward base is currently suffering from toxic fallout. And as I said in the introduction, I'm falling back onto old habits. The original habit was to basically set up shop temporarily here, hunt anything that moves, and use it to feed my people back at the colony, because during toxic fallout, plants really don't grow, and anything not under a roof suffers from toxic buildup. So for instance, the old base, FOB Antioch, this place right here, everybody is starving because there's not enough food to go around. Meanwhile, at the new location, which I don't believe has actually given me the option, it's currently called Head Swamp, but that wasn't my choice. I haven't gotten an option to actually rename it yet. So in the meantime, you know, I'm trying to get them to build this area back up. And at the end of the last episode, I was moving everything back and forth, although, you know, the pack mules are currently filled to the brim still, and I'm trying to get them to unpack everything, and so that way they can build the supply or storage yard. So that way we can just simply keep moving all the resources back over, because after wiping out 2 pirate bases, of which Antioch was one of them, I ended up with quite a bit of stuff. So there's that. Also, last episode, yeah, someone requested assistance. They landed here. I tried to defend them, but they were outside what jokingly passes for my defensive line out here. So they all died. Very sad, I know. But we're in the process of looting their stuff. I mean, salvaging things. And trying to move everything off to the new area as we try to build it up. So hopefully I'm able to get everything finished before everybody here starves. And I managed to build enough of a defensive perimeter, or at least enough stuff, so that way when this area gets hit, and I'm under no pretense that it won't be, I'll be able to adequately defend it. It's a lot of boar corpses. Really should have thought things through first. But, oh well. They say hindsight is 20/20, and it's now 2021, so. Let's continue. I'm gonna have him finish smelting some stuff. Yeah, it's a biocutter charge, right? And Hercules is throwing a temper tantrum. Because he's in a poor mood, because he's sick. Why is Hercules sick? Oh, he's suffering from initial toxic buildup, as everybody probably is. What I want to know is, what furniture do we actually have? So he's basically smacking a wall. Alright, well, as long as he isn't causing injury to anybody, I'm fine with that. Alright, so everybody's getting buried. Well, all the fallen getting buried. Okay, so, since we've been here long enough, it wants me to name the settlement. So instead of Head Swamp, it defaults to Witch Doctor's Settlement. If we randomize it, we get Fletcher's Settlement. I can't even pronounce that. I can't even pronounce that even worse. Seriously, I think that's just a random assemblage of letters. You are right. I mean, Laughingville is probably the thing closest that I can actually pronounce so far. Daneborg, Chesting. Alright, so this will be Ford Operating Base. Chestling. Give it a slightly different name. And here, we are at FOB Chestling now, as opposed to Antioch or the former colonists. Right, so Hercules is now attacking a power conduit. Okay then. So this doesn't actually break anything important, I gotta be honest about it. Okay, so what is Chief doing now? He's consuming penicillin, because he's probably hungry. And Hercules is no longer having a tantrum. That's good. Okay, so Chief is now resting. And the reason why I'm focusing on Chief right now is because he is what I will say most susceptible to having a nervous breakdown. I tried to get him to the new Ford operating base as part of a caravan, but he threw a fit and everybody had to leave him behind. It was not a fun experience. So rather than having him walk, because somehow I highly doubt he's going to walk, one thing that I thought of, because we researched these transport pods before the toxic fallout happened, I My first thought is stuff them in a transport pod and fling them at the new base. Anything else I want? I can take 1 extra kilogram. Okay, so I'm looking at the wrong numbers. I'm trying to figure out why is it having me max out this number as opposed to, because this is going to be over and you wouldn't be able to fly, but it turns out this is the number I should be looking at. So rather than send 150 things of wood, where's my ridiculously large pile of steel? I would say send over some silver, but I don't actually have a place to store it, and considering silver is more than just a standard resource, it's what passes for currency in this game, it's probably best not to send over coin unless I have a place to store it. Oh, there we are. Here we are. And accept. Caravan will be mobile if you launch to an empty tile. Continue anyway. Confirm. Alright, large meteor has struck the ground in the area, has left behind a lump of compacted steel. And that's actually... So that's quite a bit of steel, but no, it landed probably like right here. Although that is a fair decent amount of steel, and it is technically actually within the defense perimeter. So, should be good there. Alright, so Psychic Soothe is ending, and Jet is suffering from an extreme break risk, because he, like everybody else at the new base, has nowhere to sleep. He ate without a table, he has disturbed sleep, he's uncomfortable, he slept in the heat, he slept on the ground, he's in an unsettling environment, he's sick, he ate raw food and is ravenously hungry and recreation starved. Why is he ravenously hungry? We have 13 meals. Probably going to need more, though. It's a big question. It's a ram. Who has... Could have sworn they had... Mostly just for... I was going to say I could have sworn that that a few of them had a bedrolls. For some reason I could not think of the name. But I'm not seeing the bedrolls. Do see plenty of steel though, and various other things. Well, hopefully Jet doesn't kill anybody. It's been known to happen. That one's carrying a lot of hay. Oh, here we are. That's one hyperreef bedroll. Put this here. It's the only place that I have covered right now. Okay, so there's one bedroll here. Maybe. And there's one bedroll here. What about everybody else? What do they have? Meal. Weird. Of course, I originally didn't plan on having them... what's the word I want to use? Stay here long term initially, so I may not have sent them with bedrolls. So anyway, because he's suffering from extreme break risk, I'm going to have him build the bedroll and probably sleep in it. Send that to Jet off the bat. And Chief is still loading. Okay, so now the transport pod is filled. We shall launch it. Right there. Probably not directly. I was unaware I could get that pinpoint. Dang, so here we are. And he's now asleep because he spent the night loading everything. A group from the Lehane Federation is visiting the colony. Yeah, of course, it's the one in the middle of toxic fallout. Colonist lacks a ranged weapon. So apparently, he dropped his gun and I left it behind. Oh well. Oh, and Yak 3 has given birth. Goody. The plus side, this room is now completely empty of food. I just realized that this is supposed to be my freezer and it's completely empty of food. Okay, zone. Allowed animal. Pets are no longer allowed in here. Or here. Well, actually, you know what? I'll let them stay in the... food, the dining area. Those dining area, kitchen, fridge. And I put this in the wrong area. Then this, I believe, was supposed to be the rec room. Living quarters. Armory. Prison. This oddly shaped building is going to be the greenhouses. This is the storage area. This is going to be the barn, with a separate area for the pets. Crafting hall, and I forget what the other one was. Alright, don't remember, not important. Moving on. Okay, I'm trying to figure out who's actually doing the cooking. Because I have both Minoka and Ophelia set to cooking. But... simple meal. Need material. Isn't this a, oh, it's forbidden. I say, isn't this a dead creature you can butcher and then cook into food? Speaking of things you can butcher and cook into food, because food right now is the problem. Hunt these turkeys, this tortoise, these tortoises, these hares and rats. Leave the boom rat alone. I should probably take out the grizzly bear and the lynx before they start eating my people and animals. Rhinoceroses are probably going to be a good source of meat, as is the megasloths, but I really don't want to send people out by themselves. Speaking of which, I'm going to need you for real quick. Go right here. Grizzly bear is right here, so... probably not that close, but open fire. Okay, and now that it's injured, we can safely hunt it. Alright, so Sky's developed a health condition dementia. This was caused by toxic buildup Sirius. And of course, Sky is still here at the old base, and so she's having issues. It's worrisome because she's one of the medics and /or cooks. Alright, so let's deconstruct all of this. Because I won't be needing it, and for some reason, transport pods are one of the things that, no, you can't just disconnect, pack up, and take with you. Alright, so where's this Lynx now? Lynx is on the other side of the map. And so my people are suffering from boredom, so put down a horseshoe pin for, well, now. And we now have a geothermal plant. So this should now be cooling this area. Visitors are leaving. One section unroofed. Why is there one section unroofed? Ah! It's right in the middle, and it probably doesn't have any supports. Let's just put that there. You prioritize working that, so that way they can just simply be enclosed. And I should probably put in lights. Alright, so cocoa trees have been researched, so now we can sell cocoa trees to create your own delicious chocolate. Eating chocolate fulfills the need for recreation. It's valuable on the market as well. So if we look at the research screen, we have some basic minor stuff I just don't bother with, like cycloid brewing and noble apparel, and musical instruments. Probably should look into drug production, if nothing else, then so that way I can make medicine. And then we have sorted other things. Then we have more advanced stuff. Alright, so let's actually research sterile materials so that way I can get a hospital bed, which is probably what one of these two buildings are. One of these two buildings is supposed to be the hospital. Well, so this is the hospital and this is the armory. Alright, I'll figure it out as I go. All the animals are just like sitting right here. Starving. So Bowman is starving. Alright, now I know there's a tech print around here. Ah, there we are. So we apply the tech print to skin hardening. And the tech print for skin hardening has been applied. And applied to research project skin hardening. You've completed the project tech print requirements. Researchers can now begin researching how to actually use technology at research benches. By applying the tech print, Bowman has gained 2,000 experience in the intellectual skill. Right. And apparently Yoko is now throwing a party because nothing says in a toxic area than throwing a party. the plus side, the fridge is now secured. Well, no, I wouldn't say secured, but it's enclosed. So, of course, I should probably turn the temperature down, so that way it actually becomes a fridge. 16 degrees Fahrenheit should do it. Colonist needs rescue. Mashudumo. Okay. What's his problem? Toxic buildup extreme. Well, go rescue him then. And then Mushudo's no longer incapable of walking, so I just had him pick up his gun. And I should actually probably have... Alright, so, hang on. Of the people here, Stanislav has minor toxic buildup. Mushinto has serious toxic buildup. Bowman has initial toxic buildup. Sky has serious toxic buildup. And Yoko has initial toxic buildup. So I should send Mushinto and Sky to the new base. Unfortunately, I can't throw both of them into the same drop pod because they don't have enough space. Really, what I should be doing is I should be constantly recycling everybody around and through. So we'll take the hyperweave bedrolls and more wood, except that's fine. I don't plan on launching it in the middle area. And this particular spot has 12 gas, which Sky will be getting into. And I'm just going to have her go with, well, as much wood as the thing can carry. Alright, so I'm assuming this is the amount of gas. The amount of gas currently in that launch pod will get me to here, so it should be good. Alright, and Blue is now taking a rage on Jet and insulting him. Apparently she was, because Jet started a fight, because he's that level crazy. And half the time when he gets angry, he just starts trying to kill people. So that's never fun. And Mushinto needs to be rescued yet again. You go rescue him. Alright, so this transport pod is complete. So we're going to drop Sky off here. Of course, it's Mashuto's pod that has all the bedrolls in it. And needs rescuing again. And would you believe it or not, but the toxic fallout is now gone. So everybody should be fine now. We're still moving the base. Oh, Nayaka's pregnant. Noka's finally fully healed. Yoko's suffering from major break risk. Sky is asleep in the fridge. Wake her up just to get her out of the fridge. Alright, they finished researching sterile materials. So, go with drug production next. There's now a rat and a squirrel available, so let's hunt these. And just looking at all the skeletons that died from the toxic fallout, the fact that there's so very few trees. All of the hay grass that was growing is still blighted, so they're still in the process of just removing that. I should probably just burn it all. Let's say, so is the caravan... So they're still in the process of unpacking. Yu is pregnant. Jet's fully healed. Several people are suffering from major break risks. And, let's hunt these horses because we need the food. On the plus side, several of the fields are now fully sown. And Amir is causing revenge. Okay. We do have animal starvation and animal starvation. Ophelia is on an insulting spree. I mean, could she at least make dinner first? Stallion is performing revenge, as it apparently died. Because it got shot in the heart with the charge rifle. Okay. Another unit of Mirror Revenge. And now we have the plague. But both Bowman and Mushudo are suffering from the plague. Because that makes perfect sense. Alright, so where does charge rifle go? This is why I wanted a separate armory at a new base. Well, at the new base. Pain in the butt to find anything. It's a bow. It's another bow. Alright, is it still on the ground? It actually is still on the ground. Flip that. And keep loading your damn pod. Oh, they did take all the others apart, so. Of course, now there's no healer at the old base, so I'm going to have to send somebody back. Alright, so I'm going to form a caravan. Send it back here. And, Alright, so Jenny is the one of the healers. It's in Sky, but she's currently suffering from dementia, so... And also send, Tater and Yoko back as well. In blue. Dog stay. I'm assuming their packs are empty. That means that they're pregnant. I'll send the Muffalo back with them, as well as the Yaks. Not the donkey. So that way they can take a bunch of stuff back with them. Alright, well, they're not taking all that hay. Or the regular meat. Or the hops, for that matter. Or these bedrolls. Alright, send it, and, well, yeah, we can just eat stuff on the way, I guess. Bowman is suffering from a corpse obsession, so she's just gonna dig somebody up. Something tells me she and Mushoto are just gonna die of the plague. Blue is apparently suffering from something. I mean, she should be forming caravan. For a second, I thought she was actually suffering from a mental breakdown of some sort. And one of the, I would say, one of the Muffalo still has gear with it, but I think that's just the load that they're taking with them. And Yoko needs rescue. Mushoto has a corpse obsession. And she had a total mental breakdown and entered a catatonic state. Except she was one of the ones that was heading out with the caravan, wasn't she? Yes, she was. Well, she's getting removed because the caravan is not waiting for her. Right. Let's install this here. Put that bedroll in. Of course, she's going to sleep in it. But I'm going to have her rescue Yoko instead. So why is this caravan not leaving? Oh, someone's asleep. And Lynx is now hunting Alpaca 30 for food. Guessing that's alpaca 30? Yes, it is. Alright, well, that's dead. But shoot the lynx. Or not. Right. Hunt that. How badly are you hurt? Just a couple scratches. You'd be fine. Now, can the caravan... Okay, the caravan left. Let's say, can the caravan go now? No, actually, the caravan did not leave yet. Because somebody decided to sleep. Get moving. Caravan can't load it in the pod because some items or people are unavailable. Where is... Oh, he's currently in the middle of... hauling a corpse. And Jenny is now in a daze. Because she suffers from an unsettling environment. This guy is now confused. People eating raw meat because there aren't enough meals. Why aren't you leaving yet? Colonist Mushuro needs rescue. Of course he does. Rescue him. Allow these. Now, why isn't the... Of course, one person I need for the caravan is having a mental breakdown because she doesn't want to leave. Alright, well, if we're not taking... If the caravan isn't heading towards the other settlement, I'm going to cancel it and fling the sick and injured over to the new place. Pause it for a minute. Build a new transport pod. Because Bowman has to go as well. Alright, this is now a medical bed. You rescue him. Install here. Install here. Install here. Install here. Install here. And install there. Alright. 5. Okay. You rescue him. Chief would already rescue him, I guess. Now then, tend to the sick. Because, it's at 60% plague and 35% immunity. Alright, I harbor no illusion he's going to die. Probably the same with Bowman. Because this game is like that. Which is why I had them equip several Resurrector Serums, which I can no longer find. It's a Healer Mech Serum. Oh, and there's a raid by the Grey Goose Boko. So hopefully it's at the new facility. Okay, everybody who isn't crazy or lying on the ground, get over here because they're attacking immediately, and there's what, a dozen of them? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The baker's dozen of them. My people are all spread out because they were doing everything else. Everybody gather, because they're about to attack. And there's no about to attack, they are attacking. And we lost the land. Okay, so let's attack the guy right next to my people. One down. Two down. Someone needs rescue. Someone always needs rescue. And the tribespeople are fleeing. Okay, so Minoka is down, and she's going to be dead in 3 hours. Chief will be dead in 9. Sky is perfectly fine. Right, just set these up for medical, and Hercules will recover, and Lincoln's in no immediate danger. Everybody else seems fine. Right, undraft, where's Sky? Sky is fleeing. Why is Sky fleeing? Thought they were fleeing. Or not. Okay, fine then. But Sky goes redraft and shoots this person. Fine, just punch him. You rescue her. You rescue him, and apparently the dogs are so hungry they're just going to eat corpses. We good now? I'm assuming we're good. Ah, so she's still alive. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, so, capture her. And 5 of my yaks are now suffering from the flu. because why not? That makes perfect sense. Apparently I set up shop in the wrong area. Everybody's sick and dying. But there's now 10 dead people. And I'm going to have to account for that. So... start our graveyard, just, I would say right here, but that's over a geothermal vent, which I may need. So I guess here should work. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so she's suffering from, Yoko's suffering from extreme hunger. Alright, so did they finish that drop pod? No, they did not. Okay. Construction skill too low. Construction skill too low. So, I can't send anybody else via drop pod because their construction skill is too low, so they can't finish building it. The game, for one reason or the other, won't actually let me send a caravan because it just simply says no. Okay, so who isn't injured? Some Lincoln, we'll send Blue, we'll send Jet. And they have no cooked meals, so... bedrolls. Take 100 units of just standard meat and go. Fill your pockets with food and get out of here. And a group of the Black Sinners has arrived at the other encampment. Of course they have. That makes perfect sense. Where are you? Alright, so since you want to rest, I'm having you sleep with everybody else. Because I don't have enough people to adequately defend because Bowman's sick with the plague and will probably die. Yoko is suffering from, well, hunger. And that just leaves Stanislav, who is by himself against 6 pirates? Yeah, that's not gonna fly. You know, these 3 are on their way out with hopefully some food. Chief is no longer incapable of walking. Who is Miles? Oh, Miles is a dog, and Mushinto has died. Why did he die? Oh, he died from the plague. No, he didn't. How did he die? Oh, Concurrent will go berserk. Yeah, he died from the plague. Okay. There's some things I just won't accept. Alright, so if we roll it back 2 days...
Hey, the game cheats. I will stack the deck in my favor as much as I feel like.
And we finish researching sterile materials. We will pause it here. Research drug production. Alright, so we're going to form a caravan and head it back to the old base. And it will consist of Jenny, Jet, and we'll take Tater as well. Leave the turkey meat, but take everything else. And leave the hyperweave bedrolls, because there's plenty of beds where you're going. Yeah, that seems fine. Now go. Now, this is before or after the plague? This is before the plague. Well, these two things. Everybody's wearing tattered apparel because I have yet a chance to make enough clothes. Of course, now that attack by the tribespeople hasn't happened, so I won't complain. Okay, where are the hyperweave bedrolls? Load all of those. And wood. And accept. Alright, load the pod. Said load the pod. And the caravan has arrived at Antioch. Anybody cook at Antioch? No, they do not. Okay. Alright, of all the people here, who has the highest cooking skill? The Yoko does have some interest in it, so she is now the cook. Also, harvest as many of these potatoes as you can. Same with this corn. People's gotten food poisoning. Colonist needs treatment. What's wrong with Blue this time? She just got in a fight. Okay. So is this loaded now? Load the pod. You can suffer from major break risk. Jenny is hiding in a room because she's still apparently sick. This guy's still suffering from dementia. Yes, she is. But you know what? I'll take dementia over just flat out falling over dead. Alright, so they have some food here now, hopefully. Of course, the one person who was supposed to be... No, Yoko was supposed to be the cook. And Jenny's no longer hiding in her room. Although Stanislav is now starving. And he's just gonna eat random food. Well, random meat. And the yak calf is being attacked by a lynx. And it's going to die because... well, no one's nearby. And a yak calf is now dead. Shoot that lynx, please. Who else is nearby? And now it's dead. Okay then. Alright, so is this filled? It would be nice if... Okay, loading is still in process. Contains 4 hyper batteries and... Why are you sowing heal road? Why can't I have them? Okay, so now the transport pod is complete. So we launch it at the new encampment. Wrong button. We launch it at the new base. And it's arrived. Alright, now that we have beds, we install them here. Drug production is now finished. So let's focus on medicine. I should probably put in some lights. I say it would be nice if they harvest the existing food as opposed to all the fully grown crops, as opposed to Chifa's collapse due to extreme exhaustion. Okay, so it isn't so much hungry as a mechanoid combat cluster is landing nearby. The cluster will be initially dormant, so you can take time to decide how to attack it. It may remain dormant until disturbed, or may have a timer or proximity activators. When dormant mech clusters aren't harmless, a dormant cluster may assemble mechanoid attackers from time to time, have some broader negative effect that must be dealt with eventually. I like how this place just... Oh, it's inside where my defensive perimeter is supposed to be. And it's blocking the sun. So an auto-charge turret, a mini slug thrower, 2 pikemen, 5 mini slug turrets, an auto-charge turret, which has a ridiculously large range. What is this thing? Self-powered turret mounted with a charge blaster cannot sense targets at very short ranges. And that's why everything went dark. So facing animal starvation, because there's nothing for the dogs to eat. Why is it the more stuff that I have, the longer it takes to actually do anything? Get the bedrolls in there. And where's the last orbital bombardment? Where's the last orbital bombardment? Thingy. Right, I got one of these left. Go equip it. And then jets. Bushido doesn't, and I'll send Tater as well. Not taking any food because I gotta run like heck. Bushido apparently does not have a weapon. So now I gotta find it in all of this. I'll also just give him a bow. Where are you? Another charge rifle ended up in here this time. It would be nice if inventory would tell me where exactly the weapons are. Got a bunch of food, sorted things, other materials. Yeah, it doesn't tell me where things like weapons are. It just gives me a breakdown of the basic resources that I have. And ammo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these two. I was going to say I would separate these two zones, but I got rid of one. Okay. This here. For storages. No food. You know what? Hang on. Copy the settings. Paste the settings. But no raw resources. No allow items. Apparel, but no building supplies or corpses. Whereas here, no weapons or apparel or items. So hopefully eventually they'll split up. And until then, Bushido gets his sniper rifle if he can find his charge rifle. And Yoko has gone berserk. She will attack anyone she sees because she ate raw food. And they're just going to run into the mechanoid cluster, aren't they? Alright, so Tater and Jet have arrived at FOB Chesley. They're just going to come over here. And everybody except Yoko and Minoka, because Yoko's chasing Minoka and Minoka's running from her. Mechanoids from the somewhere mech hive arrived nearby and approaching from multiple angles. They are attacking immediately. Oh, of course, they're attacking the other base because nothing says. How many mechanoids are there? Now, one thing I really don't like is that the alerts go away, so I can't really see who's supposed to be where. Chief doesn't apparently have a weapon, so we'll forget him. Anyway, colonist needs treatment. Yoko needs treatment. I don't doubt it. But we got problems. How many other mechanoids are here? I can't see because it's nighttime. Technically I can't see because the sun's blocked. Where did it go? Fine, everybody go over here. Fall has begun. Goody. There's one. Meanwhile, these guys fine. I guess not. So, Antioch's probably the greater threat right now because the Lancers are actually attacking here, and I know there was one down here somewhere. Bowman injured. Well, she took a hit to the right arm and will be dead in 13 hours. The other one's down here. And the turret's actually shooting it. Okay. Technically, it's shooting the solar panel. Somebody is starving. Yoko is starving. There goes that turret. The last turret I've actually have. And it blew a hole in the bridge. Also, it took out the power supply. Kill that, please. Be so kind. And it's dead. And Jenny will be dead in 13 hours. Bowman will be dead in 12. I'm assuming that was the last of them. Although, knowing me, I probably is not. So, why are there 4 Lancer corpses? Yeah, 2 of them are already corpses. So I'm assuming that's everything done over here. Before I forget, let's rebuild this. And reconnect the power supply. Why is Jenny resting? She should be healing herself. Okay, so hopefully that's everything there. As for this issue, I'm going to go over here. And Jet's got the orbital targeting beacon. We're just going to call fire on that. Alright, now that that's been flattened, deal with the fires. And the sun's back up. And these 2 are still running away. Lincoln's no longer inspired. Plus side, everybody should be fine. Of course, now I'm fresh out of artillery. This area has been, well, there's now a hole in the wall. Fixed the wall. So kind. There's now a second drone. Fix the wall. What little food we have goes to waste. And Yoko needs rescue because she's collapsed. Just equip a rifle. And go rescue her. Of course, nowhere is... course, they both collapsed. Oh, she's actually going to be dead in 8 hours. What did... They fought a mega sloth. I really don't want to know what happened. Okay. Two are now medical beds. You rescue her. You rescue her. We just grab the charge rifle. We should not have built such a big base all at once. Still, they are getting it built. No denying that, it's just taking forever. Where is Sky? Okay, so she's gonna be dead in 2 hours if she doesn't get help. Okay. I was gonna say, what is she doing? Alright, so both are fine, although fine is relative because apparently Minoko had her nose shut off at some point, and her right pinky is destroyed, and her left eye is crushed. Whereas Yoko just has a bunch of injuries from being kicked in the head by an ibex. That makes perfect sense. Okay. What wildlife is here? Just a boom rat, some stallions, and the horses again. So let's hunt the horses again. And we'll go with the ibexes as well. Alright, so the cooler is now active, so the freezer's back to freezing things. As usual, food is a problem. People are starving. A lot of people are starving. But, now there's plenty of animals to hunt and stuff is growing. Whether or not that translates into food before, well, people die of starvation is entirely another question. Entirely another question that will be answered at some other time, because I'm going to call it here.
Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.